Zebras grazing on the plains, giraffes looking on. It's a classic East Africa scene. We could be in the Serengeti.
Except we're not. We're in the rolling Wiltshire countryside, where some of Africa's most iconic animals have roamed for the last 50 years.
When the park first opened, the idea was to create a little corner of Africa in the heart of England. And amazingly, the people who came here could set up picnic and eat their lunch with the animals all around them.
Sounds wonderful, but things have changed a little bit since then. However, we have plenty of wild stories coming up on today's show.
The world's fastest land animal is put to the test.
Go, 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 go!
We go back to 1968 when giraffes first arrived at the park and meet the people brave enough to rub shoulders with them.
The small giraffe actually stood on Stephen's foot, so you can tell how close we actually got.
And the life of a baby goat hangs in the balance.
But before all that, we're out and about with our newest recruit, Jean Johansson, as she prepares to take on the might of the park's most mischievous monkeys. They first arrived in 1968 and have been causing chaos ever since. Today, a troop of 116 macaques lay in wait for a steady stream of cars to enter the monkey drive-through, hitching rides, ripping off trim, and generally causing havoc. And nothing can be done to stop them. It's Jean's turn to help with the daily clean-up.
Bit of a jump.
So already?
Oh.
Window washer?
Yeah, one of their favourites. So we can put it on the back of the truck?
Yes, so we can look forward to finding a couple of these, I think. OK.
Oh, looks like we've got a lovely L plate.
And also bumper sticker, right? We're doing well.
We are doing well. Oh, there's a bit of trim.
Ah, their favourite.
They love picking that off, and that's a nice thick bit, so they would have had some fun with that.
It's a bit like a junk treasure hunt, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
It definitely is, and it's really important to pick it all up, because obviously we've got all our other animals in here, like the gnu and the black buck.
How much of this stuff do you find after, you know, a drive-through?
Oh, in a day we can have, handfuls of it. It can sometimes fill up the back of the truck. And on a busy summer, we can have, even more.
Macaques are the most widespread species of primate apart from humans. To stop this set of vandals totally trashing the place, the keepers have come up with all manner of games and tricks to keep them entertained.
So what have we got in here?
So I've made them some ice lollies. We've got some of their favourite treats in, and they can also eat the stick as well.
What else have we got in here?
And we've made them a little box. We've put some of their favourite browse, and they've also hidden some bits of pepper and carrot in, so they can use their fingers to get it out. And we've also got some camel fur, because our camels are molting at the moment, so we're going to see what they're going to do with that.
What would monkeys want with camel fur?
I think the smell, playing with it, they kind of roll around in it and things like that.
Monkey wigs?
Yeah,
right, let's do it. And they're quite sociable in their eating patterns. They like to eat as a group.
Yes, they are. Yeah, you'll have more of the dominant ones coming over, and then you'll have the less dominant ones all hanging back, kind of waiting for their turn.
And what about the children? Will mothers and elders tend to feed them?
There's one with a baby just there.
So will mum just carry that baby around for a while?
It looks still quite young, so it'll be mainly on the front of the mum, and then as it gets bigger, it'll start exploring, kind of getting on her back.
And mummy will soon start training her how to to take off window wipers and things.
Yeah. You can see as well, you've got some of them on our enrichment box. They're really poking.
And this is good for their dexterity and their problem-solving skills as well.
Really good, yeah. It keeps their minds working. They know that those bits of carrot are in there, so they're having a real good look.
These are all like toys and fun and things that they can play around with. Yeah. Well, despite all the damage they've caused to all the many of the cars that have driven through here, I think they really deserve that.
Yeah.
From car-mobbing monkeys to sea lions capable of holding their breath for up to 20 minutes, the park is full of amazing animals you have to see to believe. And none more so than the world's tallest animal, the giraffe. Speaking to us back in 2004, the first head warden, Mike Lockyer, was able to describe the scene when the first giraffes arrived.
I imagine to anybody locally seeing them, I mean, it's a thing that they'd never seen before in their lives and would probably unlikely ever see again. It was quite an exotic, sight. And when they were first let out, I mean, they were a bit cautious and a bit flighty. And then they realized, space, we can have a little gallop, and of course they loved that. Once they got used to their perimeters, they settled down fine.
The giraffe were an instant hit, as this was the only place in the world outside Africa where the public could mingle amongst them.
We've just opened a new reserve for giraffes, which is 100 acres, and there's 17 giraffes and a lot of zebras. The trouble is, of course, the giraffes eat the trees, but still, the main point is that the public can get out and picnic and look at them in complete safety.
And we've invited some of the first people lucky enough to share a picnic with them back to the park.
I remember particularly there was a large giraffe and a baby by the side of her, and the kids went right up to that one. The small giraffe actually stood on Stephen's foot, so you can tell how close we actually got.
My mum opened up the window and all of a sudden a giraffe sticks its head straight through the window and she's going, "Oh, it's going to come in and get me, it's going to come and get me."
But it wasn't just the first visitors who fell in love with these gentle giants. It was the keepers too.
Best memories of the whole place was the fact that it was an entirely new venture. Nobody had done this, so everybody was here, was excited. There was great camaraderie, and everybody was really trying hard to make it work.
One of those original keepers was Alec Long. Alec's daughter Rose and granddaughter Helen remember how working with the giraffe changed his life forever.
He came here in 1968, having just retired from a farm in Horningsham. He was lucky enough to be offered a place here by Lord Bath at the time. He knew nothing at all about giraffes or zebras or camels at all, but he was told they were just like cows. So he came on a temporary basis and he didn't leave for 30 years.
Alec completely fell in love with the giraffe and dedicated his retirement to caring for them.
And he knew all of them, didn't he? He knew all their names, everything. He knew, and they recognised his voice as well. Because he did have a bit of a booming voice. Yeah.
We'd see his brown car sort of come through, and it wasn't just us that saw it, but all these guys. The giraffes knew his car. And as soon as he was in the park with the car, they were coming towards him. So they'd all come over, all round the car, heads down, because they knew he had polos and extra strong mint. There was a real affinity between them,
Alec worked at the park until he was 86 years old.
He loved it so much. This was absolutely his life. This place was his life. I do count myself very lucky to have been here at that time and just seen all of that.
Back at the park today, times have changed, and although you can no longer stroll out amongst them, the giraffes still hold a very special place within the safari park family.
The giraffes are one of the most favourite animals at Longley. I mean, everybody's got their favourites. Some love the monkeys, some love the gorillas, but giraffes are one of their favourite.
Now, I have to confess that I rather bemoan that I wasn't here in 1966 and able to picnic with the giraffes and the zebras. Those scenes were absolutely magical, but I'm guessing as a keeper you're probably quite relieved that none of us can do that anymore.
I love the nostalgia element of it, Kate, but I must admit, from a health and safety perspective, it's, you know, we're much happier with the setup today. But yeah, of course, I mean, it just looks so amazing back then.
Just what an experience, can you imagine? And again, you know, we sort of forget that I suppose most people in the 60s would never have seen giraffe or zebra in the wild. It would have been a completely new and incredibly exciting experience for them.
Yeah, totally. And possibly, you know, maybe they'd seen a grainy image on a black and white TV back then, or, you know, or maybe a trip to the zoo, but certainly in a setting like this, nobody would have seen anything like it before.
And, I mean, let's not take it away from today. It is still magical. I still love sitting out here. I mean, how many years have you worked here now? Come on, fess up.
I came for a summer job in 1987. Instantly fell in love with the place.
And they're Rothschild giraffe here, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Rothschild giraffe are not very common in the wild anymore.
Extremely rare. You know, certainly we think less than 1,000 animals in the wild. I've heard various numbers bandied around at 200, 500, but I think to be safe, say less than 1,000 in the wild.
And so any animal that is born here is really important for the conservation of the species.
Massively important, yeah. I mean, since we've had giraffe, I think we've had 121 live births. And, of course, over the years, those Rothschild giraffe have gone around, you know, around Europe, really, just to ensure that the genetically, the whole of Europe does have Rothschild giraffes.
It is an incredible thing, I think, to realise what a key role, I mean, you have played.
Fiercely proud, yeah, of the amount of giraffe calves that we've had. Really proud.
Yeah, well, it's a huge success. It's always really exciting to be here. Congratulations on, you know, on a really good job done.
Thank you.
Each and every day, keepers must come up with new and inventive ways to keep their animals in peak condition. Today, they're focusing on the world's fastest land mammal, the cheetah. After years of persecution by farmers, the cheetah has become a threatened species. 5 years ago, keepers travelled all the way to South Africa to collect some and begin a new breeding programme at the park. Keeper Laura is part of the team who look after them.
I'll always convince people that cheetahs are the best. You shouldn't have favourites, but they are completely my favourite.
Out in the wild, cheetah are capable of reaching speeds in excess of 60 miles per hour. But it's incredibly hard to recreate that kind of behaviour in captivity.
I want to stimulate their mind. I mean, I know they enjoy just sitting and watching stuff all day, but it would be nice for them to just get up and really use those muscles as well.
So Laura and the team have come up with an ambitious plan to construct a cheetah chase with a lure to encourage them to truly run wild.
When you're not looking in the section, they will chase pheasants, they'll chase crows, all of those kind of things. So we know it's in there somewhere. We're just going to try and encourage it with our own little machine.
But building a high-speed cheetah chase has never been attempted here before, and it could be dangerous. This is where electrician Nick and mechanic Rob step in, the on-site tech wizards.
I've built sheds, built gates. Oh, you name it, I've done it, really.
The job's never the same day in, day out. Every day could be something different. I just never know what I'm going to turn up to when I come in.
They've got a proposition for the girls.
If you wanted to go for quick, practical, lightweight, easy to move, would be if we can do a system off of a battery cordless drill. Because one, there's no mains power, so there's no danger, obviously, towards the animals. And two, it's easy, accessible. You can take it anywhere in the park.
Bingo. But that's not the only challenge.
The next big thing is, what do we put on the end of it? To get them to chase, really? What's their favourite thing?
So while the tech team get to work on their latest invention, the girls get stuck into sorting out the bait.
At the moment, we have meat, we have hide, we have feathers, and we've got fish as well. So we're just going to put it in little piles and see which one they go to first.
It's crucial that today's taste test is a success, or the boys' new toy might be a total waste of time.
If we get this wrong and choose the wrong lure, then the cheetah might just be completely uninterested.
Time to release the cheetahs.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. They've been watching us do it, so they're going to run out at full.
Come on, cheetahs! Feathers!
Oh.
No, they both went for feathers first.
No, she's sniffing it though.
Wilma's gone for feathers. Well done, Willie. So I'm thinking feathers is the way forward.
I think feathers is the way forward.
That went really well. I mean, we couldn't have asked for it to go any better, to be honest.
The idea now is just, it's going to be so good because they picked feathers as well. So the fact that we're going to put feathers on the end of the lure and run it through grass, it's going to work. It's going to completely work.
Go on, Em.
But have the boys come up with the goods their end?
It's a bit nerving. It'll look a bit silly if it don't work now. Right, ready?
That's so good.
Is that fast enough?
Yay! I'm so excited to see the cheetah's reaction. I've been here for 3 years now, and I've been wanting every day for this to happen, so now it's finally happening. I am very excited.
With the test run complete and the bait agreed, confidence in their homemade invention is high. But how will it perform when pitted against the fastest cat in the world?
It's feeding time here at Animal Adventure, and for 2 of our animals from South America, that means a game of hide and seek. Hi, Charlie.
Hi.
Brought you some food. Who are these 2?
So these guys are South American brown-nosed coati. Down at the bottom we've got Tallulah, and up at the top is Ringo.
So a boy and a girl?
Yes.
Oh, they're very cute. And what are we going to do today?
So today I just need a bit of help hiding some food for them. Coati are renowned for their great sense of smell, so it would be really great to see them digging up their food.
They've got long noses, so I'm sure they'll put them to use. Let's go. Oh, this is a great enclosure, Charlie. Lots of trees and wood around for the coati to play in.
Yeah, so if we head round this way, we can hide all the food in the ground under the wood chip.
Okay, I've got some mealworms here, some grapes and some chicken.
So we're going to dig 3 holes, and then we can put a different piece of food in each hole.
Okay. And why do the coati like digging for their food?
So in the wild, they'd have to look for insects and things in the ground under the undergrowth. So it's fantastic to see them doing what they would do out there in the wild.
Put some chicken in there for them. So you gave them a little combination of some fruit with the grapes, mealworms and some chicken as well.
Yeah.
Do they eat quite a varied diet?
They do. They are omnivores, so they would eat pretty much anything they can find, but I think they're probably going to go for either the mealworms or the meat first, because that's their favourite.
Right, should we let them in?
Go for it. Meal time. Jungle Kingdom 1 to Jungle Kingdom 2. You right to let the coati out now for us, please?
Ah, we have a coati in sight.
Yeah, that's Tallulah.
Do you think she can smell that food from up there?
I would imagine so, but she has got a great nose and she is pretty greedy.
Here she comes. So she'll be using that nose right now.
Yeah, you can see she's sniffing around straight away.
She's found something right away. She's gone straight for the chicken.
She'll probably shovel that in her mouth and then go on to the next pile.
She knows there's something there for sure.
Oh, Ringo's having a look. He's using his nose to have a sniff, see what she's doing.
Yeah, he's thinking about coming down. Got some mealworms, grapes and chicken here, Ringo. Down you come. I can see the little nose wiggling when they're sniffing out the food. That's cute.
Ringo's gone straight for the grapes.
Yeah, healthy option. Food's that way.
She's very nosy.
She's picked up our scent as well.
Yeah, she can probably smell what we've got in our hands still.
And they've got some little sharp teeth in there as well.
Very
that was
sharp,
unexpected.
yeah. So they would go for small birds and rodents in the wild, so they do need to have quite a set of teeth on them to tackle them.
So how do you think our little menu of mealworms, chicken and grapes went down?
Well, Tallulah certainly went for the meat first, so it's really great to see for next time that that's what she likes, that's what she wants.
And how did the grapes go down?
Ringo seems to be enjoying them. He's tucking in still, so that's good to know for him.
Look, he's really burrowing his nose into the wood chip. It's almost like his nose is another limb.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a hand to him. He pushes it all around with his nose, looking for the bugs.
They both look very happy. I think we both know what their favourite meal is.
I think so.
Oh, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
While we've been here for the good times, we've also been here for the bad times. The moments that really stick in my mind are when the keepers here have gone out of their way to help an animal in distress. Nothing in life is certain, but sometimes that extra mile could just save a life.
Almost a decade ago, when Bev Evans was caring for the pygmy goats, she arrived one morning to find a nanny called Sour had given birth to 3 little kids. But because pygmy goats have only 2 teats, it makes it hard for them to care for 3 babies, and the mother will often reject one of them. Rather than stand by and simply watch it die, Bev stepped in to help, desperately trying to get Sour to recognize her kid. But it was no good. She didn't want to know. Nobody ever wants to take a baby from its mother, but this was a matter of life or death. She took the kid to the staff room where it was warmer. It was a little girl, but her body temperature was dangerously low.
We're just taking over Sarah's job and stimulate her and get her cleaned up, get her dry. And we're just trying to see how she's going to do. You know? It's been a little bit touch and go. It's hard to say if she's going to survive or not.
She wouldn't survive long without milk, and the best place to get that was from Mum. So Andy Hayton, who was head of the section, went back to Sour.
So this will give the baby the best head start that you can possibly wish for. Stop. No. Let's try to get it.
This special first milk is called colostrum. It's full of antibodies to help protect newborn babies from disease and infection in the first few days of their precarious lives. To survive, she'd need a lot more milk than this.
She swallowed that.
Swallowed, did she?
Yeah.
But she was too weak to take any more. In fact, she didn't look good at all.
Sarah's only had twins before. She's never had triplets. So she was probably quite occupied with giving birth to the second one and then the third. And by that time, this little one had got a bit cold and wasn't really bleating as much and wasn't really standing as much. So, you know, once the other two were up and about, Sarah's attention kind of turned to them. Maybe she knows something that we don't. Maybe she thinks this little one's a bit of a lost cause, but we can't really tell that until later on, really. Is that better?
Jean Johansson, the newest member of the team, has been exploring the park and finding out exactly what it's like to be a keeper.
What are we going to do?
Next stop, the hoof stock section.
I'm really excited because I have never seen a tapir before.
Oh, our tapirs are lovely. We've got 3. We've got Eddie, our male, and then 2 female tapirs as well.
So how do they kind of adapt to being here in the lovely greens of Wiltshire?
They don't mind too much, but because obviously our climate's not as humid, there's not as much moisture around, they do kind of get dry skin sometimes.
Right.
So it's nice that we can groom them daily and it kind of just keeps the skin nice.
So is that something we can do today?
That's something we're going to do with them today.
Okay, a bit of tapir grooming.
They're quite responsive, so if I call them, hopefully they'll come see us.
Really? Okay.
Come on, Eddie!
Come on, Eddie!
Jessie! They're quite friendly. They do like a brush and a cuddle, and they're quite placid. But you've got to remember there's a lot of weight behind them. They can be dangerous if they need to defend themselves in the wild. They're not defenceless.
Here they come.
Hi, Ed. Good boy.
Hi, Eddie. Oh, he looks happy to see
We
us.
step this
Hello.
side of him.
Okay.
Just so we're not in between him and one of his ladies.
Okay. Hi, Eddie.
He feels a bit wet. I think he's had a swim.
I can see a bit of an elephant, a bit of a donkey, a bit of a pig. I thought they looked a bit like Shetland ponies.
Their closest relatives are horses and rhinos.
Right, okay. So
he's enjoying that.
Ah, you like that, Eddie? Oh, I can see. Oh, now, am I right in thinking he wants his tummy rubbed?
Yes.
There you go. Oh, this is great. How lovely. Why do they like this?
They just really enjoy it. It's good for their skin. It's good for us to be able to rub them down so we can see all over their body, make sure their feet are in good condition, that they haven't got any cuts and scrapes on them.
What's that noise?
I think that's a squeal of excitement.
Oh, great.
Enrichment is a vital part of animal care, and the keepers here spend lots of time coming up with ideas to keep the animals here mentally and physically active. Now, these marmosettes, as you can see, they have plenty of different surfaces to run around and explore, and their food is put in things like, this is ingenious, this is a brush, and they tuck the food in so that they have to forage for it and find it exactly as they would in the wild. But not all the keepers' ideas work. Sometimes the animals go for it, sometimes they don't respond at all. There's simply no guarantee.
And it's this uncertainty that awaits the cheetah lure team. It's time to test out their homemade contraption for real. And they're nervous.
These animals, again, they were completely unpredictable, so they could just not be interested at all remotely. So we're just going to have to play it by ear.
While the girls secure the bait, it's up to Nick to set the trap. The plan is to pull the lure out with a 4x4, while Nick sets up behind the fence to reel it back in.
A bit like with fishing, you just jiggle the lure just to get their attention, and once you see them, they go for it. Just reel it in as quick as you can.
But he's never attempted to race a cheetah before.
The main concern is, obviously, I need to get the distance in right when I actually stop winding the lure back in. If I bring it in too far and they're fully chasing it, we could end up with the cheetah running into the fence.
With the bait set and Nick primed and ready to go, it's now or never.
No pressure, Nick. No pressure.
Can the team tempt the cheetahs into running truly wild?
Got the head up bright, looking ready though.
That was amazing. They both ran for it straight away. That was so good. So good. They were so quick as well.
Wilma just came out of nowhere. We were all like, look, Carl's licking. Oh, look, Wilma's there running after it now.
At a speed of around 30 miles per hour, it's been a success, and the girls are thrilled.
That was working really well. That was so much better than I'd hoped for. That was amazing for both of them to run at the same time as well. It was just awesome.
But Nick wants to give it another go, just to see if he can get those cats going even faster.
That was amazing. That was so quick. He was running so fast. I reckon between about 40 and 50 miles per hour. That was really quick.
My heart goes when you see that initial look. You know when they're going to go for it. You can just tell by their stance. That was the first for me, tug of war with a cheetah. I don't think I'll ever get that again in life.
The cheetah has a unique flexible spine, which can extend and recoil so quickly, the cheetah's able to make strides of 20 feet.
I always talk about it to members of the public and everything, how they get up to those top speeds. So seeing it in action for the first time at this angle is just amazing. Seeing how they can flex up their spine and get that 8-meter stride on the go ready is really amazing and fantastic to see.
These guys are built for speed. That's what they're built to do. So it is in there somewhere. We just needed to tap into it and get it back out again.
We're trying to get their fitness to that level that they'd be at in the wild. It's just great, great for them and great for us to see as well.
Today is my day off. I love these guys so much though. I just want to see them doing what they're supposed to do.
Now we're heading down to Half Mile Lake, where Jean, our newest recruit, is helping out with the world's largest primate, the western lowland gorilla.
Keeping the animals entertained is a full-time job, and here in the gorilla enclosure, that means some big toys for some big boys. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Wow, who's this behind you?
This is Keisho, our dominant silverback here. We're just making some new enrichment up for these boys. It's the first time they've ever had anything like this. So we've drilled holes in the side here and we put small amounts of food in, so hopefully they can roll them around and the food will fall out, or they can hopefully reach in and try and grab little bits. You know, if they were just given their food in one go, it would just be really boring. So every day we try and think of something new for them to do. So what we've got here is we've got 3 barrels, because in silverbacks, he's going to be a dominant male. So with these, we're hoping that because they're so big, he won't be able to grab all of them at once, so the other young boys can have a go and join in as well.
Okay, should we take them out?
Yeah, sure.
In the wild, it's common for young male gorillas to leave their families and form bachelor groups, much like the one here at the park. But there's still a pecking order, and it's Keisho, the big silverback, who rules the roost.
I'm excited, Lauren. Should we
let them out and see what happens? And this is Keisho, our dominant male.
Right, Keisho bounding straight out as expected.
Here we are. This is Alfie, and that's Avindi, our 2 youngest.
Now, they're kind of looking a bit inquisitive.
They're a bit unsure, aren't they?
Now, he's been quite generous in letting them kind of look in their
He's very
barrels.
unsure, isn't he? I guess maybe because he's not seen it before, he's letting them do the stupidness and try and see if it's dangerous first.
Okay, so he's letting them try it first, but he's got the barrel down. And you go, Keisho. So quite intelligent to know to go straight in those holes, get their fingers working.
They are really intelligent animals. They're all different levels of intelligence as well, so they've all got different methods that they're doing. So Keisho is kind of just using brute force there to get it open.
For the teeth.
Whereas Avindi and Alfie are kind of working at it a bit slower. They're pulling out the grass and they're rolling it, which is kind of what they should do. That's kind of what the aim was, that it's a bit more cognitive rather than brute force. They're trying to get it the fastest as well, so that Keisho's not going to run over and steal theirs, I think, once one of them's worked it out.
Yeah.
In the wild, they'd be searching around the bushes, looking for nuts and seeds. So we're just trying to recreate that it's not just easy for them to just grab their food and go, that anything that takes a bit longer, that they've got to work for it.
Now, I've noticed that they're kind of watching each other to see the best techniques for getting into the barrels.
That's the way primates learn, especially young primates would watch the elder ones and see what they're doing. Keisho there, because he is a bit lower intelligence, he's definitely watching the young ones, seeing how they work it out.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of going for ripping the barrel apart and hopefully finding that fruit.
Okay.
Oh, look, he's got the lid off.
He's managed to snap some of that off, yeah, so he's just pulling out the grass there and finding the nice bits in there.
Who's that over
This
there?
is a Vindi on the far right there.
A Vindi who was smart enough to rip the lid off has gotten to the fruit first.
Yep. And he was in the one at the window looking, so yeah, he was kind of working it out before they were even out here.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They'll be watching us, watching where we put it in, so they know kind of where to go for.
That's amazing. So when we were having a chat and filling our barrels, he was watching how we put the lid on. That is amazing. Well, Lauren, everything has gone to plan.
It's worked well, yeah, I'm glad. It's one that we'll put on the books and we'll try again, I hope.
Keisho still hasn't really got any fruits, and I reckon that he might be here for another couple of hours, so we'll leave him to it.
Great.
And hopefully he gets a treat at the end.
Now we're going back almost a decade to find out what happened to a newborn kid goat called Sour couldn't look after 3 babies at once. But then Andy spotted a problem with one of the other kids, so he called in vet Paul Higgs to take a look. 5 hours after being born, one of them still couldn't stand up properly.
Whenever he was putting weight on it, his back legs were both just splaying.
Yeah,
completely.
He's quite weak, isn't he? I think his main problem is that his toes aren't. If you put his toes flat, he can't actually stand on the bottoms of his feet at the moment because his tendons are all contracted down.
This was another problem caused by having 3 babies in the womb. They were squashed together with no room to stretch, so the tendons in his back legs hadn't developed properly.
Generally, they come right within 24 hours, you know. Otherwise, we could, if he's still not right, sort of tomorrow afternoon or whenever, then we can stick a splint on them. That's the other thing. But considering it's both of them, we don't really want to be splinting both his legs. And usually they just come right all by themselves.
While the vet was in the goat house, Bev was waiting in the staff room with the poor little kid. The baby was fading away. But then, something changed.
About an hour ago, she was still wrapped up in a towel, hardly lifting her head. And then just took the towel off her and she just stood straight up, had a wee. And she's been like this ever since, just won't even sit down.
Yeah. With little young ones like lambs and kids, when they got very little energy, when they come out, very little reserves, so if they get cold, they rapidly use those up. Again, once they've warmed up, they tend to come back to life quite quickly. She's seems quite good. Stick your finger in her mouth. She sucks really nice and strong now, so she should be quite happy to go onto the bottle now rather than just squirting it into her mouth. And she's got loads of energy.
Good.
She looks as good as the other two now, doesn't she?
Yeah,
really?
she does, yeah. Bless her. It's turned out pretty well, as you can see. Bit of a shock actually taking off the towel, and she just stood straight up. So from nearly death's door to up and about and quite lively, yeah. Really good. A long day, but yeah, very good thing. Anyway.
The kid couldn't go back to her mother, and it was up to Bev and Andy to raise her by hand, bottle feeding day and night. But just 1 week later, and she was already strong enough to spend every day out playing with the other kids.
She came home with me on the first night, and she stayed at my house probably a good 5 or 6 days because she was just so incredibly weak. She's special in lots of ways. She's called Bubble because she sits there after she's had her milk and blows big bubbles out the side of her mouth. So, yeah, a special character.
Now that was 9 years ago, and now I'm back with Bev.
Hello.
And beautiful looking Bubble. Where's Bubble? Look at
Just by your foot.
Bubble is looking very round, by the way.
Yes.
Is that too much food?
A little bit that, but also pygmies are usually as tall as they are round, so pygmy goats are a little bit like that.
Let's just go. Oh, hey, greedy pygmy goat. Bev, obviously you work with a number of animals here. You see the highs and lows, but do you see an animal like Bubble and think, do you know what? You know, that little bit of intervention makes a huge difference between life and death.
Definitely. And if we hadn't done that, she definitely would have died. And she's gone on now to have babies of her own who have had babies of their own. So it's great.
And what is the life expectancy of a pygmy goat? I mean, how long can we expect her to...
You know,
hang around?
10, 12 years is pretty good. So at 9, she's doing very, very well. She's got no medical problems, no arthritis, nothing like that. So she's doing really, really well for her age. You know, we might be lucky she could go up to 15 years.
And she's turned into quite a feisty little pygmy.
She's very small, but she's very feisty. And she's always been like that. It might be because she was hand-reared, but yeah, she meets anyone new. She lets them know that she's around and tends to butt them a little bit.
And how does she get on in terms of the hierarchy with this lot?
Yeah, she does really, really well. She acts like a normal goat. She doesn't have any odd behaviour. And her sister Clara, who's the bigger goat, tends to be in charge of the herd. So.
And Bubble seems to have changed colour a little bit.
Yeah, all of our goats tend to do that. You know, Huckleberry's done it, Piglet's done it. But it's generally, as they grow older, they lose their baby coat and then they get into their adult coat. And sometimes their winter coat and their summer coat is different, but in general, once they've got into their adult coat, they say the same. So she's always been quite ginger.
Bev, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
What a success story Bubble has been. Here's what's coming up on tomorrow's show. Here you go, guys. A world-class team of experts have flown in to save a threatened species.
She's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most of us.
A vet is on red alert to save a wolf pack whose cubs are fading fast.
If he doesn't go back to the pack, then we're not going to be able to save him anyway.
And keepers risk it all to pull off their most daring enclosure extension.
Our risk is that they actually get down off the tree and they're free roaming.
There'll be all that and more on the next
Animal Park.
Coming up next this morning on BBC One in Kent, it's open plan, but not in a good way, with homes under the hammer. And then at 11, he was up for a move to New Zealand, but she wasn't convinced. Find out where Andrew and Emma are now. That's followed by Air Hunters at 11:45 and a case that one of the team describes as a beast.